Hello everyone and welcome back to game week 4 of the 23-24 PTC Therapeutics Premiership, where you join myself, Ryan Sipple, for the next game of the day. On Court A, which will see Nottinghamshire take on Manchester United. Both this game and the court scheduled for Court B so significant for the fight for survival at the summit of the Premiership standings. Nottinghamshire currently in 8th, Manchester United in 10th. We've just witnessed some absolutely unbelievable games prior to these ones kicking off. Teesside and Aspire both faltering in their pursuit of the Premiership title. Aspire at a deadlock 0-0. That one finished with Villa Rockets. Teesside a stalemate with Nomads Knights. As you can see from the table, these two teams locked on the same number of points, 11. Nottinghamshire with a game in hand over their Manchester rivals. But hopefully this will be a very entertaining game. So Jeff Lewis, our central referee, just gets the teams in. Just go through the teams quickly. Sam Langley unable to make this one due to some difficulties with his chair. Adam Langley, Matt Hadfield, Matthew Harrison, Leighton G and Kieran Wade. Their coach John Langley. And Manchester United, their rivals, have Kieran Burns, Lewis Marshall, Josh Slack, Jake Hudson, Liam Fitzpatrick, Sam Taylor, and they're coached by Pete Taylor and Mark Hudson. Let's just clear them graphics. You can see both teams in position, ready to start this game. Should there be any updates from Court B, I will strive to bring you them as soon as possible. So, looks like Josh Slack will have responsibility of this kickoff for Manchester United. I'll talk to you about how these two fared yesterday and in this morning's fixtures, and bring you the action live from the Lee Westwood Sports Centre. Jeff Lewis, our central referee, complemented by Steve Crump and Peter Westmoreland. We look like we are ready to go. Thumbs up from Jake Hudson. Thumbs up from Matt Hadfield, the goalkeepers of Manchester United and Nottinghamshire respectively. And we are underway. Manchester United comprised of Jake Hudson, Joshua Slack, Kieran Burns and Liam Fitzpatrick. Liam Fitzpatrick registering his 100th National League goal in a 1-0 win over West Bromwich Albion Throssels yesterday. Doesn't quite make contact with that ball. Right action nonetheless. So huge congratulations to him. It's no mean feat, scoring 100 National League goals. He joins the coveted Century Club. Nottinghamshire have Matt Hadfield in goal, Leighton G, Adam Langley and Matty Harrison. As mentioned, unfortunately for them, they are without one of their star players in Sam Langley, whose chair faltered in an earlier game against against Leeds. So a mixed weekend for both of these two. Nottinghamshire started with a 6-1 defeat against Aspire before a 2-0 loss against closely matched rivals Sevenoaks. This morning they produced their performance of the weekend. 1-1 draw with Leeds. Leeds coming back very late to snatch a point from Nottinghamshire. I'm sure they will absolutely take it though. It's Liam Fitzpatrick guides it goal bound just off of Adam Langley's chair. They of course face Manchester United here before a 4:15 kickoff against West Bromwich Albion Throssels. Manchester United 6-0 loss to West Brom started game week 4 before an absolutely brilliant 1-0 victory over West Bromwich Albion Throssels. I had the pleasure of commentating on that one, and I have no question if they replicate that level of performance here, they will almost certainly secure points, if not the win. Adam Langley trying to break this press of Manchester United, who are brave in attack. Liam Fitzpatrick guides it towards Matthew Hadfield in the Nottinghamshire goal. Jeff Lewis signals for a 2-on-1 in favour of Nottingham. A final game for Manchester United this, so they'll be wanting to end the weekend on a high. But as I mentioned in the build-up, Aspire dropping points against Villa Rockets, and whilst they still have the top position in the National League, they will be frustrated that they weren't able to secure all 3 points. Likewise to Teesside, who could have made up some serious ground on the teams above them. They drew 0-0 with Nomad Knight. So Adam Langley now with possession. Leighton G in support. Liam Fitzpatrick intercepts all the way down the end of the court. Adam Langley is going to happily let that roll out of play for a goal kick. Let's just see if there's been any update on Court B. That game between Hull and East Yorkshire and Sevenoaks, still 0-0. Charlie McClellan is bringing the action live from that one as Matty Harrison returns the pass to Adam Langley in the centre. There's a single substitute for both of these two. Nottinghamshire have Kieran Wade. Manchester United have Sam Taylor. G. Kieran Burns takes possession, switches the play. Matt Hadfield's going to have to try and fire that out of his defensive box. Can't quite get it past Adam Langley, and Joshua Slack, who's spearheading this press. Really brave work, committing 3 plays forward. It falls favourably to Josh Slack, but couldn't quite get the orientation on his chair to trouble the Nottinghamshire defence. 4.5 minutes played, Nottingham 0, Manchester United 0. Langley over to G, that's good football. Good front bumper pick off from Matty Harrison. Leighton G's pass doesn't quite meet Adam Langley. Manchester United almost definitely looking for an early goal, putting a lot of pressure on their opponents. Burns. All the way back to Jake Hudson, who's going to have his first real involvement in this game. Has to be alert, communicate constantly with Joshua Slack. Adam Langley's going to try and go round the long way. Josh Slack alert to that opportunity. Just trapped in that bottom left-hand corner. Out of play for a goal kick. Good work from Slack, the captain of Manchester United. Slack into Fitzpatrick. Trying to weave his way round. Adam Langley has to be careful. Advancing into that right-hand corner. Kieran Burns occupying that wing currently. Don't want to give away needless 2-on-1s. Adam Langley to take. Down to Matty Harrison. Doesn't make contact. Slack trying to put an obstacle between himself and Leighton G. Does so brilliantly. Leighton G guides the ball out of play. Just under 7 minutes played. Still goalless, as is the game on Court B between Sevenoaks and Hull and East Yorkshire. If I hadn't mentioned already, Nottinghamshire in red. Manchester United in their away kit, which is the dark green, probably appears black on screens with white stripes. Jake Hudson, the goalkeeper, in black. The goalkeeper of Nottinghamshire, of Matt Hadfield, is in purple. You can see Sam Langley down the other end of the court, constantly shouting instructions at his team. Such a good communicator on the court, proving to be the case off it as well. Adam Langley. Nice pass to Matty Harrison. It's a very condensed triangle. Correct decision from Jeff Lewis. 2-on-1 in favour of Manchester United. Indirect free kick. Has to go via the chair of an opponent or teammate. Liam Fitzpatrick on the right hand side of the box. Shielded by Leighton G. Kieran Burns down that left hand wing. Keep an eye on Matty Harrison. Should Leighton G get in front of Liam Fitzpatrick, could potentially distribute the ball up to his number 8 winger. Round of applause from Mark Hudson, the Manchester United coach. Happy with what he's seen in the opening 9 minutes. Certainly the more attacking of the two teams, but Nottinghamshire defensively sound thus far. Goes all the way back. And this is that break I was talking about. Matty Harrison can't quite make contact with that ball. But all the while that Manchester United are committing 3 of their 4 players forward in pursuit of that opening goal. They will leave vulnerabilities at the back that Nottinghamshire will be hoping to capitalise on. I referenced it on commentary earlier. All the teams towards the bottom of the standings are all growing into the 23-24 campaign. Manchester United and Nottingham both starting to establish a real identity and purpose about themselves. Fantastic to see Adam Langley back playing football. Such a valuable player. It's just a real shame that he's not able to play alongside his brother in this one. Corner kick in this bottom right hand corner, probably just out of shot. Probably the best opportunity for Nottingham to get on the score sheet all game. Liam Fitzpatrick's on the edge of the box. Leighton G marked by Joshua Slack. Matty Harrison at the back post. An interesting setup here from Nottingham. Doesn't look like there's any real clear opportunities. And the 2-on-1 rightfully given. Leighton G couldn't vacate that space quick enough, and that's what I was saying about the interesting setup. Any ball fired into the box, there was probably only 2 or less metres between Harrison and G. Slack. Kieran Burns needs to turn around and acknowledge Liam Fitzpatrick advancement down that left-hand wing. Does so just in time to avoid a 2-on-1, and Fitzpatrick's going to try and force the ball over the line. Matt Hadfield has to be alert. Adam Langley trying to trap the ball and set Leighton G away. Leighton G has to vacate the space now. Jake Hudson with a rare involvement. He's had a fairly quiet 12 minutes so far. is always going to be very closely contested, this. It's contact there. Slack drives to try and get that ball out of danger, and Adam Langley turning counter-clockwise into that ball, deemed the aggressor. Contact foul taken by Slack. Spoken about Manchester United's victory against West Bromwich Albion Fossils yesterday. Have to commend Joshua Slack in that one. Absolutely superb, as was his teammates. They didn't make any substitutes in that, so the team you're seeing now is the team that secured the 3 points. Nottinghamshire have had to switch it up from their earlier point against Leeds Chariots, with Sam Langley unable to play. Kieran Burns is going to try and weave his way round Matt Hadfield. Adam Langley just retakes the position in defence. 2-on-1 in favour of Manchester United, with Adam Langley out of the box. Matt Hadfield wasn't 3 metres away. Six and a half minutes to go. Indirect free kick to be taken by Joshua Slack. Kieran Burns in the box, cleared by Matt Hadfield. Slack switches the play. To the box, cleared by Hadfield. Still in play. Joshua Slack, I think, expected that ball to go out for a Manchester United kick-in. Still 0-0 on Court B. At the half-time break, I'll bring you the full league table, the live standings taken into consideration. Both results on Court A and Court B as they're happening. But with no goals across the last 2 games between Teesside and Nomads and Aspire and Villa Rockets, in addition to these 2 games at the moment, this is probably the longest the Lee Westwood Sports Centre hasn't seen a goal in a very long time. Can one of these two break the deadlock? Manchester United in the driving seat here to register the opening goal with the more attacking pressure across the opening 15 minutes. I think they're just going to have a change of ball, whether this one has got a puncture. We're going to switch from our bright yellow ball to a white ball. The yellow ball was introduced last season to aid visibility for players that have difficulty distinguishing between the white one and the floor. It's just one of the many things the WFA does for inclusivity. Liam Fitzpatrick here into the front of Adam Langley's chair. Leighton G has to drive out of the way. Kieran Burns forced the ball through Adam Langley, out for a Manchester United kick-in. Blocked by Leighton G down the line. Slack down to Kieran Burns, over to Liam Fitzpatrick, closed down by Adam Langley. Into Fitzpatrick. Strong play from Josh Slack. The ball's still in play. The whole ball and its curvature has to go over the red line on this right-hand side. Very high press from Manchester United. Nottinghamshire will do well to break it. If they do, though, they could potentially create overload in attack. Reoccurring theme of game week 4, strong play from Josh Slack. Half time on Court B. Nothing to separate Sevenoaks and Hull and East Yorkshire. The same can be said about this one. Excessive force from Liam Fitzpatrick, shakes his head in disapproval. Don't think he felt it was aggressive, but a direct free kick. Approaching the final minute in this first half. Nottinghamshire 0, Manchester United 0. Leighton G in space. Matty Harrison hasn't had much involvement. Kieran Burns coming back to keep that in play. Has to be careful not to gift possession back to Leighton G, who immediately pressures Jake Hudson. It's good work late in the half for Nottinghamshire. Adam Longley to take. Leighton G, the only real option without the defensive players of Manchester United. Matty Harrison is going to have an opportunity here. Good work from Joshua Slack. 30 seconds to go. Harrison, it's a good ball from Langley. The first real effort on target from Nottinghamshire. Leighton G unlucky there, but good defensive work from Joshua Slack. Had the regulation 20 into any additional time. Added up from Jeff Lewis. Down to Kieran Burns. Leighton G trying to weave his way up the court. And that signals the half-time break. Nottinghamshire 0, Manchester United 0. Let's have a quick look at the league table. You can see that this point or potential point for Nottinghamshire would see them stay above the pack. Sevenoaks and Manchester United on goal difference alone. But it's so close. For reference, whoever finishes 11th and 12th will be automatically relegated to next season's championship. Whoever finishes 10th, so currently Manchester United, will be put in a one-off playoff game against whoever finishes third in the championship for one single Premiership place. But thank you to all that are tuning in. I'll be back very shortly for the second half. Hello everyone and welcome back to this second half of this fixture between Nottinghamshire and Manchester United, currently at a deadlock 0-0 in these teams' fight for Premiership survival. Let's once again bring up the league table just so you can see how close it is at the bottom. Nomad Knights securing a brilliant point against Teesside earlier, but they've got some ground to make up on Manchester United, Sevenoaks and Nottinghamshire. Sevenoaks currently facing Hull and East Yorkshire on Court B. That also 0-0. But Nottinghamshire with a game in hand, certainly over Sevenoaks and Manchester United. And they boast a more favourable goal difference. Marginal, but more favourable nonetheless. No real moments to talk about from that first half. It was fairly even. Manchester United arguably with the more attacking intent across the 20 minutes, but there was one or two opportunities for Nottingham to get on the score sheet. Hoping for a little bit more quality in the second. You can also see how close it is at the top. Had Teesside secured a win against Nomad Knights, they would be on the same number of points as West Brom, and they would sit just one behind Aspire. Worth noting that Aspire, Aspire, Teesside and West Brom all meet one another in game week 5 of the 23-24 PTC Therapeutics Premiership. That one in June, so it will go down to the wire. And looking at these two games happening at the moment, it looks like the race for Premiership survival will also go down to the wire. Teams just getting their instructions from their respective coaches. For those just tuning in, this game between Nottinghamshire and Manchester United is live from the Lee Westwood Sports Centre. Mixed weekends, Nottinghamshire losing 2 of their 3 games so far against Aspire and Sevenoaks. A brilliant point earned against Leeds. The only thing they have to show for game week 4 so far. They have another game to play later at 4:15 against West Bromwich Albion Throstlers, who Manchester United beat brilliantly yesterday. Manchester United, alongside that 3 points, have had losses to both West Brom and Newcastle. This is the final game of their game week 4. But Jeff Lewis just brings the teams back in. Nottinghamshire will have kick-off. We will be underway in a few seconds time. Thumbs up from Matt Hadfield, thumbs up from Jake Hudson, and Jeff Lewis blows the whistle to get this second half underway. Nottinghamshire 0, Manchester United 0. The teams are unchanged from that finished the first half. So Nottinghamshire have Matt Hadfield, Adam Langley, Leighton G and Matty Harrison. Manchester United, Jake Hudson, Joshua Slack, Kieran Burns and Liam Fitzpatrick. Good play from Adam Langley to surpass Kieran Burns, met by Joshua Slack. As you can see from that graphic, Sevenoaks have taken the lead against Hull and East Yorkshire. So they will jump above Nottinghamshire in the Premiership standings. Still 13 minutes left to play of that one. Just under 19 here between Nottingham and Manchester United, where you join myself, Ryan Sipple. live from the Lee Westwood Sports Centre. Liam Fitzpatrick guides it towards Matt Hadfield. He's going to have a second follow-up effort, very congested. Kieran Burns looks for Joshua Slack in the centre. That central battle between Adam Langley and Josh Slack is going to be so key to the overall outcome, and should either manage to break the deadlock, I have no question that one of them will be crucial in making that happen. Slack blocked by Matty Harrison, sends a ball across the Manchester United box, no one there to receive it. Langley into Harrison, towards Jake Hudson. 2-on-1 in favour of Manchester United. Burns lets that roll. Matt Hadfield will probably let this go out of play for a goal kick, which he absolutely does. Looks like Sevenoaks have doubled their lead on Court B. Slack didn't quite have the angle to put it in the path of Liam Fitzpatrick, which is a shame because they had some momentum in attack. There you can see Sevenoaks' 2-0 lead over Hull and East Yorkshire. Liam Fitzpatrick coming back to scoop it out of Matty Harrison's path. Leighton G trapped in that corner, vacates the space well. Langley. As mentioned in the first half, Liam Fitzpatrick registered his 100th National League goal yesterday in a 1-0 victory over West Bromwich Albion Throstles. Into the path of Fitzpatrick. A lot of pace on that ball. Does really well to keep it in play, and that's fantastic. Just guided it into the side of Adam Langley and won his team a corner, which will be taken by Joshua Slack. Liam Fitzpatrick, the closest of the two supporting players. Keep an eye on Kieran Burns. I think it will be a touch from Liam Fitzpatrick into the Scotsman's path. Doesn't quite have the initial accuracy, so Adam Langley traps the ball. Potential counter-attack. Had he picked out one of his two wingers who are very wide either side of the court. Burns makes contact with Adam Langley, starting to open up a little bit as both look for that opening goal. Set ball to be contested between Fitzpatrick and Adam Langley. Leighton G ricochets to Joshua Slack, Fitzpatrick keeps it in play. Really nice football. Had he distributed it to Kieran Burns, he would have had an opportunity there. It's all about risk versus reward now. And commit players forward in pursuit of the opening goal, but you'll have to accept that vulnerabilities will be left in defence. I think from the 27 minutes we've played, it's really evident that these two are so similarly matched in terms of player quality. Both on 11 points. A share of the spoils here would put them on 12. And with Sevenoaks 2-0 up against Hull and East Yorkshire, it will be one of these two teams in that 10th position should the season end. As it currently sits, Manchester United would play Leeds Dynamos in a one-off playoff game on July 17th to determine who has Premiership status for the 24-25 campaign. There's no guarantees. The quality of the Championship is growing year on year. Typically in years gone by, it would always be a fairly one-sided affair in favour of the Premiership team. But that's no longer the case. We're seeing them playoff fixtures be really closely contested. And I know there's 4 or 5 teams all fighting for that third place in the Championship. Game week 5 of both the Premiership and the Championship is set to be action-packed. Consecutive weekends at the start of June. I think it's the 2nd and 3rd, or the 1st and 2nd of June, and the 8th and 9th. Championship and Premiership respectively. So a little gap between game weeks 4 and 5. Jeff Lewis does have the whistle in his mouth to blow at 2-on-1. Goes in the favour of Manchester United. Indirect free kick. Just over 10 minutes to go. Slack to Fitzpatrick, closed down by Adam Langley and cleared by Matt Hadfield. Attempt from Joshua Slack, almost falls favourably to Matty Harrison on the break, but out of play for a Manchester United ball. Burns. Too much pace for Joshua Slack. Neither side has opted to utilise their single substitutes in the 30 minutes so far. Kieran Wade for Nottinghamshire, Sam Taylor for Manchester United. Patient play from Adam Langley there, trying to win his team a corner. They haven't had too much presence in the Manchester United half, so they're going to want to make this count. Jake Hudson having a very quiet half. Interesting setup. So Adam Langley can't quite make contact fire it across the box. Matty Harrison was there waiting. He's going to try and force the ball between the two defensive players. Deemed too aggressive. Foul for Manchester United. 8.5 minutes to be played. Still 2-0 on Court B. I'll show you the live standings at the conclusion of this game. Going to get our first substitute of the game. An interesting one. Sees Josh Slack come off. Sam Taylor come on. Looks like Kieran Burns may take the role in the centre of the Manchester United team. Taylor and Fitzpatrick very close to one another. Just wonder if Josh Slack's absence will leave a little bit more space for Nottingham to try and exploit. Kieran Burns and Sam Taylor both shouting and appealing for that kick in. It goes in the favour of Nottinghamshire. Next up on Court A, Nomad Knights take on Newcastle United Foundation. On Court B, Aspire take on Leeds Chariots. I think already you can see the absence of Joshua Slack has resulted in this Nottinghamshire pressure. Very dominant central player, so key to what Manchester United do, both in defence and ultimately in attack. Langley down to Harrison, across the box. Kieran Burns has to be alert. Almost an unfamiliar position for him. The most defensive of the four players currently, or the deepest certainly, with regards to court placement. 2-on-1 in favour of Manchester United. They'll be happy with a little bit of respite. I wonder if Josh Slack has just had a problem with his chair, whether battery related or other. It's not often a team will take off their best player for no reason. Still in play. Then Fitzpatrick drops off. Starting to open up a little bit. Kieran Burns is going to try and dribble out of danger. Sam Taylor has to vacate that space a little bit quicker. And he wins his team a kick in on this right hand wing. Kieran Burns to take. Full time on Court B. It's confirmation of that result. Hull and East Yorkshire 0, Sevenoaks 2. A huge 3 points for the Kent Bay side, who now have a little bit of a gap between themselves and the more dangerous positions towards the bottom of the Premiership standings. Substitute for Nottingham sees Kieran Wade, the number 17, enter. And number 8, Matty Harrison, come off. Kieran Wade with first involvement is to try and guide that up the court. Nice pass into the path of Leighton G. I think a point apiece would be the fairest outcome of this game. Neither has done too much to justify anything other than that, but with 3.5 minutes left to be played, it still has the opportunity for one of these two to snatch 2 points from the other's grasp. Good orientation adjustment from Liam Fitzpatrick just to guide it down the court. Matt Hadfield alert, leaving a big gap in behind. Three minutes to go. Kieran Burns with the free kick. In terms of defensive organisation, Nottingham have been brilliant. Some late pressure here. Leighton G will take. Adam Langley is on the edge of the box. Kieran Wade on the right hand side. Kieran Burns. Down the wing. Contact between Fitzpatrick and G. Langley trying to force the ball up the court. There's a lot of people up on the mezzanine watching the final minute and a half of this one. As I've referenced throughout the 39 or so minutes we've had, this could have such huge significance for who's playing football in the Premiership next season. Final minute, indirect free kick on the edge of the Manchester United box to be taken by Adam Langley. In terms of placement, this is probably their best opportunity they've had all game. Leighton G positioned between Hudson and Kieran Burns. Kieran Wade closely marked by Liam Fitzpatrick. Indirect into the box, off of Jake Hudson's chair, over to Kieran Wade, who makes contact with Liam Fitzpatrick, rotating into that ball. Jeff Lewis hesitated slightly because it looked like Manchester United could have broke there on the counter-attack. That will be a relief for Pete Taylor and Mark Hudson. I would struggle to award a player of the match. It's been a professional performance from every single one of the players who's featured here. To give it to any one player for any of these two teams would do the other a disservice. This is a very late corner kick. 30 seconds into additional time. Sam Taylor to take. Liam Fitzpatrick in the box. This would be a crucial goal. Sam Taylor just told to take his time. Into the box. Cleared by Adam Langley. Down the court. Jeff Lewis with the whistle in his mouth. 2-on-1 though is the decision in favour of Nottinghamshire. Adam Langley to take. Intercepted immediately by Liam Fitzpatrick. Couldn't guide it goal bound. Jeff Lewis looks at his watch. Has the whistle ready in his hand as we approach 2 minutes over the regulation 40. Just going to just see how this plays out. Sam Taylor does well to lock up Kieran Wade, and Adam Langley almost hesitated there, which allowed a clear path for Sam Taylor to drive into. And that will signal the end of the game. Nottingham 0, Manchester United 0. And with Sevenoaks' win on Court B, let's just bring up the live league standings. It's favourable viewing for Sevenoaks, who put a 2-point buffer above Nottinghamshire. Nottinghamshire with a game in hand over their closest rivals either side. Manchester United will be happy with that point, I think, to add to the win against Throssell. So 4 points from a possible 12, but considering their opposition playing West Brom, Newcastle and Throstles, they should be delighted with the accumulation of points in pursuit of Premiership survival. Nottinghamshire with 1 game left to play against West Bromwich Albion Throstles at 4:15. Thank you to all that have tuned in. Next up, Newcastle United versus Nomad Knights.